I want you to tell me in a comment below what top 3 or 4 or 5 or even one of your favorite brands should have been all over everyone's top 10 list. Hashtag we are Privada, hashtag we are family, hashtag we are the industry. My name is Brian Desind. I am an industry insider and expert. In fact, I have the awards to prove it. Tobacco Businessman of the Year in 2021. What do you think about that? That's pretty snazzy. Not a lot of other guys on YouTube have that. Okay, and I'm a little, not upset or frustrated, but there's a lot of new blood in the industry for YouTubers and influencers in cigars. And most of them don't know what the hell they're talking about. And that's kind of cool because you get to learn with them and along that journey. But I want to be able to set the record straight on certain things. And today we're going to talk about brands. We're going to go over the top 25 for Cigar Aficionado. And we're going to go over the top 25 list for Halfwheel. And we're going to talk about what brands paid to be there, what brands deserve to be there, and what brands you should be seeking out and smoking when you walk into a tobacco shop. Tyler. Let's get the top 5 of Cigar Aficionado's list.
All right, so let's see here.
Quickly, Tyler, quickly.
The one that came in second.
Why can't you just get to number 1?
It's weird how they have this set up here.
Yeah, that's to keep you on the website longer. Up there, statistics or whatever.
All right, we have the number 5 is Avo Expressions Limited Edition.
So number 5 is the Avo Expressions Limited Edition. This is basically a Davidoff under a different name, or at least from the same factory. And my main man, the DJ, I know this dude. He's a friend of Nick's too. Who's the DJ that got really famous during COVID? That's his release.
Really?
Yeah, man, he used to be a rapper. He's a photographer, really cool guy. D-Nice, my man D-Nice, who's one of the nicest people you actually meet, no pun intended. And they put that out with him. I haven't smoked it. We're gonna talk more about Davidoff and Avo and everything that comes out of that factory, which is called Tabadome, and we know the people who created that factory. So we really have an in there. Next, that was number 5.
That was number 5. Number 4 is Plasencia, Alma, Fuerte, Colorado, Claro.
Okay, so Plasencia, they all look the same and they have different colors and all that stuff. The bottom line is Plasencia grows most of the tobacco in Honduras and Nicaragua. Like, they are one of the biggest growers and they have some of the best tobacco out there. They also make some really crummy products too that you probably don't want to try. That's okay because they're putting their really good stuff in their brand. I know how these people operate, right? It's a lot of ego. Come on, it's craft. You're putting all your passion into it. So you're paying more for a Plasencia. You're getting it. It's nice to see them start getting in these lists because they only just made cigars for other people until sort of recently. Go ahead.
Number 3 is Sin Compromiso Selección.
Dunbarton and Trust, Sin Compromiso, Steve Saka. I hate the Sin Compromiso. I love it. Shouldn't say I hate. It's not my favorite of his. It's not the cigar I would want to see in the top 5, but Steve Saka deserves to be in these top 5 lists. There's very few people that have this amount of experience in our industry, okay, and know this much about tobacco and are still in love with it after all the BS politics and stuff behind the scenes. And over the years, I've grown much, much more fonder of Steve and Dunbarton and Trust. Not my favorite brand, but I see so many people that love it that it must be great. So you should be seeking out Plasencia. You should be seeking out Dunbarton and Trust. Next.
Quesada 50th Anniversary.
Quesada, what can I say? I make cigars with Quesada. We make our famous pig with them. I don't smoke Quesada other than the pig. I have talked to them about becoming their lead, basically. I have positioned it twice. Make me your creative director. Let me get involved with the blends. Let me get involved with the cigars and the artistry of it. And I will make Quesada even bigger than it already is. The truth is, I think Quesada sells so many cigars, they don't want to mess with anything. I don't smoke a lot of Quesada cigars, and I love these people. Shout out to Raquel. Shout out to Manuel Quesada. This is a Vietnam veteran. This is a good American, also a Cuban American living in Dominican Republic. I mean, really amazing stuff. I'm almost positive. Yes, that is a fact. In fact, the way they got into cigars is someone owed them money. They were butchers or something. Someone owed them money and they paid them in tobacco. It's a great story. Okay, next. Who's on? That was number 3?
That was 2.
That was 2.
Yep.
Quesada was number 2.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Congratulations to Quesada. I love it. I think you should try some Quesada and see for yourself. You might love Quesada. Go ahead.
Number 1 is Craft Maquette La Maestranza.
What list is this?
This is the half-wheel list.
Oh, this is the half-wheel list. Okay, so we're not on Cigar Aficionado yet.
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Now this list is starting to make sense. I could see why half-wheel. So this is a Roma Craft product. Roma Craft's an interesting company. I've always had construction issues with Roma Craft, but I believe that it's a cigar that you need to try because it's unique. They have their own factory. They don't grow their own tobacco. They're not vertically integrated, but they have their own factory and they have their own blends. I have to say they make some of the nicest boxes in our industry. So that also tells me, like, if you care that much to make these nice boxes, you probably care about your product too. I'm not a diehard Roma Craft person, but you absolutely should be trying a Roma Craft. Now, how they're scoring number 1 when I've had so many construction issues with Roma, I don't know. I've noticed that Halfwheel has been favoring these guys. I don't highly recommend reading Halfwheel if you're just looking for, quick tips on cigars. They're for the industry. They're not for you. So they're the Billboard magazine. They're not Hard Rock, Rockin', what's the other one? Come on, man. You may as well shoot this myself. They are the Billboard to, not Hard Rock, what's the magazine called? Rolling Stone. They are the Billboard magazine, so you don't need to read that if you're not in the industry, and honestly, I think they paint a lot of shit the wrong way. I'm not a fan anymore, but most people know that. All right, so give me the top 5 on the Cigar Aficionado list.
So Cigar Aficionado top 5 is Partagas, Linea, Maestro.
I would never smoke a Partagas. You're talking about brands that built their whole identity on a Cuban cigar that aren't Cuban cigars. Done with that. Unless AJ's making it, which sometimes he does make stuff for them, done. This is General Cigar from what I understand. These are the big corporate guys that buy up anyone that starts to show any signs of hope and then basically shit can the whole brand. They're also going to take over brick and mortar for our, like, no, I'm not buying that. And you shouldn't either.
Number 4 is
That's Budweiser.
Yeah.
I mean, you want it, fine, go ahead, but that's comes commercially made shit. Next.
Padron Series 19.
Padron will always be in the top 5 of Cigar Aficionado. They've been their biggest sponsor since day 1, and they have a relationship. Does Padron deserve to be in top 5 list? 100% it does. Do you need to try Padron? Yes, you do. Can you get cigars that are Padron-like for half the price? 100%. However, Padron does do some processing that other places don't, and they deserve to be tried. And I use Padron like I use a Cuban cigar. I use it as a baseline. Every once in a while, I go back to it and I say, how are my cigars comparing to these? Because this is what a Nicaraguan puro is supposed to taste like, even though we know the Maduro is not a puro, but that's fine. It is what it is. This is a wonderful family. They have contributed so much. They have such a rich history, starting out in Miami with cafeteria cigars and then moving to Nicaragua and even being there through multiple revolutions and all types of Sandinista stuff. You need to try a Padron every once in a while, 100%. Next, that was number 3?
That was 4.
That was 4.
Yep, this is number 3. EP Carrillo Encore Select.
So EP Carrillo, we've made one cigar out of the EP Carrillo factory. We didn't make it, it was already aged there. I loved it. It was crisp, it was clean, it was different from a lot of Dominican stuff, which I find a lot of Dominican brands have lately been dirty. I'm not enjoying a lot of the Dominican brands. Dominican Republic needs to get back in fighting shape and jump back in the ring here, man, because Nicaragua's taken over, okay? And there's a reason for that. They're doing the processes militant style, okay? And DR needs to jump back on that because I love Dominican tobacco. I think that there's a huge place for Dominican tobacco, and we're gonna get more into that. But what was it? That was EP Carrillo. Yep. But my members didn't love the Carrillo. Now, Carrillo's number one, this is another big contributor to Cigar Aficionado. They're always gonna be in the top 5. It's getting pretty boring, guys, having the same people, but those are the people that can dole out $200,000 a year in advertising to keep that magazine going. So I don't think you need to try a Carrillo. I really don't. Maybe that's blasphemy, and I have so much respect for Ernesto Perez Carrillo, a man who's been rich 17 times over in this industry. He doesn't need my money, and he doesn't need me to say that his stuff is good. It's gonna sell out no matter where it is because of this list. But I'm telling you, if you wanna be more in the know, get a little deeper into craft cigars. As much as I think Ernesto Perez Carrillo should be cherished and honored in our industry, I don't think it's a brand that you need to seek out like immediately. That's just how I feel.
Number 2 is Monte Cristo, 1935, Anniversary Nicaragua Espeso.
Espada or Espeso?
Espeso.
Espeso. Mm-hmm. Okay. Monte Cristo, another one, took their name from Cuban cigars. I don't know, man. I like the Espada. I do. I think they've put out some good things. The advantage that these big Budweiser-style companies have is they can purchase all the tobacco in the world. They can get all the best wrapper. When you look at them, they're going to be beautiful. The blends are a little... That's why they're hiring AJ to do a lot of blends for these kind of companies, because they know that their blends are, they're kind of dated. We're looking for more, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't recommend seeking out Monte Cristo unless it's a Cuban, just to try what that tastes like these days for $150. Stupid.
And number 1 is My Father the Judge Grand Repeat.
My Father the Judge. Do you need to seek out My Father tobacco? Well, I think you should. I also think My Father and their sub-brand Tatuaje have changed a lot. You won't know that necessarily because most people watching this are going to be somewhat new to this and don't know all of that stuff. Don Pepin, the person behind My Father's Cigars, again, should be cherished. He's one of the greats. Do I think you should try My Father's Cigars and Tobacco? 100%. I do think you should. And I think that's really the only point of this. I could tell you that a lot of people are saying that the Judge is not what it used to be, and that often happens, especially now that a cigar is number 1. You don't have the tobacco to keep up with that demand, so you're subbing in other things and trying to make it taste like it used to taste, but it doesn't anymore, and that kind of thing. And there's a lot of that goes on in our industry, which is why I'm a limited edition cigar guy, because once it's gone, it's gone. You don't need to go back and make it again. Therefore, you're not going to be subbing in and saying that something is. Let's go over the back 5 of the aficionado list while you're on aficionado. Yeah, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means the back 5.
10 is Brickhouse Churchill.
Brickhouse Churchill. Budget cigar, J.C. Newman. Classic in our industry. Again, we're kind of talking about Budweiser there, though. That's your tap, Okay, next.
9 is Arturo.
I'm not smoking Brickhouse. Sorry, I don't. I love those guys, and they have other things that I would like to smoke.
9 is Arturo Fuente Don Carlos.
I don't smoke Fuente. Okay. I don't. I've never. I think every newbie starts at Fuente and then moves on from there. And they sell enough cigars that whatever I'm saying isn't going to hurt them, and it has nothing to do with my personal drama with Carlito over there, okay? I just don't smoke that Pardon me. Yeah.
8 is Cohiba Maduro 5 Magicos.
Cohiba? Mm-hmm. Never, ever. Never, ever, ever will I smoke a There's a perfect example, some commercial done. Next.
7 is Rocky Patel Conviction.
Don't smoke Rocky Patel. We're on their website.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
As blacklisted. As an unauthorized. You should be thrilled we're selling your stuff. People give your stuff away. Forget that. I'm good on that. I can buy your stuff at Costco, my guy. We're good. And no, I don't want that.
6
I heard he's cool, but it is what it is.
Oliva Serena
Man, dude, I don't smoke Oliva. They do grow some of their own tobacco. I think you should try Oliva. I think when I hear someone tell me that they like Oliva, I think this guy doesn't retrohale, but likes a good, rich Nicaraguan tobacco. That's what I think. Nothing wrong with that. Let's go over the back half of Halfwheel's list. We're only doing top 10. I don't really give a shit about what got in the 25. Number 23 coming in. Who cares? Hope you didn't pay for that. These lists are paid for, though. I got to say that. They're paid for. That is a fact. Either they're paid for in the sense of like, no matter what, it all comes back to who the advertisers are. And so whether it's the cigar really isn't that good, which I don't think people do it with ill intent, but whose cigars are you going to review? You have to review the cigars from the brands that are keeping you in business. So right away, there's that. Cigar Public, blind reviews, they have no idea what brand they're smoking, and no one's paid advertising. No one will give us a dime. And we're going to keep it that way. Go ahead.
So back 10 on Halfwheel is 10 is Davidoff Grand Cru.
So Davidoff's one of their biggest supporters. So every time I see a Davidoff or you said Avo was in their top. Bro, that Avo, no, yo, I love D Nice and I love the whole thing, but that Avo, I haven't seen it anywhere. I haven't heard anyone smoke it. I haven't, like, how that made it into the top 5, I don't know. Obviously, they're pushing that cigar, and D Nice deserves it. I'm sure the tobacco is fantastic, and I'm sure that if you see that, you should probably buy it if you can afford it. Same thing with this Davidoff. Does it say an MSRP on that?
Let's take a look. It says does not have one.
Does not have one. Okay, so it's probably a $20, $30, $40 cigar. I think, again, Davidoff should be a baseline. It's the most nuanced, medium to light Dominican tobacco done right. And I have to say that. Because they have so much money, they're able to do it right. They're able to age the tobacco. So if you want to see what good aged, mild Dominican tobacco tastes like, you should smoke a Davidoff and get that baseline and say, okay, this is what it is. And then go over to Chico and see what he's doing with less aged, but more. You see that? You weren't even looking. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually MSRP $57.
$57. Yeah. Don't buy that one. Buy just a regular white. Okay.
9 is Las Calaveras Edición Limitada.
This is Las Calaveras. They've done this a million times. They've watered down their best program, in my opinion. And I'm not a fan of where that brand has gone. And it has nothing to do with the fact that that guy hates our guts. He is such a small hater. It's crazy. This guy's got to be like, it's oh my God. Someone wrote on Instagram, they tagged Privada and they tagged Crown Heads and said, yo, I'm smoking my first Crown Heads and I like it. So you might like it. You might want to try some of this stuff. And he wrote, he tagged like his head of sales and was like, how did Privada get our stuff? Like, dude, come on, man. You're one of the most watered down brands in the world. How did we get your stuff?
Bro, it's ridiculous. All right, so 8 is Leroy Neiman 2023 Collector's Edition.
Haven't had it. I would try it. What's the MSRP on that? That is a $20? Okay, so this is a special cigar coming out of J.C. Newman, out of the El Reloj factory. I would try that for sure. I'm not smoking Brickhouse because I'm not broke. I'm sorry. I hate to say it that way, but that's a fact. Like, that's what that cigar's for. It's for when you're down on your luck. You really got into smoking cigars, but you lost your job or something. Like, that's Brickhouse. Amazing brand for that time. Same thing with our cafeteria. They're amazing.
7 is Roma Craft Tobacco. Maestranza Ciutadella Catalonia.
Okay, so this is which list?
This is the Halfwheel 7.
Okay, so they were number 1 and number 7. Is that correct?
No, number 1 on, let's see, number 1 on Halfwheel was the Maquette La Maestranza.
But from Roma.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Roma Craft got number 1 and number 7.
It looks like it, yeah.
I mean, I thought Halfwheel rates more on construction than they do on flavor. In fact, that's pretty much a fact. It's more about the technical aspects of that cigar. Whether or not they got peanut or florals, and my experience with Roma hasn't been great on construction. It's been a lot of waving, that kind of stuff. That being said, and as much as I think the owner, what's his name? Skip. As much as I think Skip's a pain in the ass, I think he's great for cigar culture, and I think he means well underneath his delivery. I think you should try. There might be some, for me, Roma Craft is like the sarsaparilla of your soda lineup. It's like a unique thing that's done differently, and like, yeah, you should try it, because you might love, I love sarsaparilla, right? So you might like this brand, but I'm shocked at how much love they got this year from Halfwheel in particular. They also got like Factory of the Year, which is crazy because they don't even ferment tobacco there, as far as I know. And we've been there, right? Our cameras have been there. I haven't been there, but our cameras have been there. Great factory. Again, not knocking. I'm just saying, if Factory of the Year, you should be fermenting your own tobacco. Maybe he does. I don't think so, though. No shade to Skip. Skip is a treasure for our industry, but a pain in the ass, difficult to deal with, and just, never knows when to shut the up, to be quite honest with you. Sounds like he's making better products than I remember, and I think that you absolutely should try.
Number 6 is Fuente y Padron Legends Carlos.
So this is the most expensive cigar ever made. Yep. You can't have it. My uncle used to always say, you can't afford it. You can't afford it.
$177 MSRP.
$177 for the single. If you smoke this, you're stupid. Okay? Sorry.
Okay, and then number 5 was the Evo Expressions.
Yeah. So, okay, we're talking about Tabadome there. I think that you should try cigars from Tabadome, which are going to be Avo. They're going to be, some Avo. You got to make sure of that, right? And I'm pretty sure that one, I saw it has like a Connecticut wrapper on there. I'm pretty sure that's out of that factory. What other brand should we be talking about? I'm shocked there was no Illusione. Where are you, Dion? What's happening? Okay, we're going to talk about brands. Illusione, what is happening? Where are you? What's going on? Warped. I'm seeing some cool boxes and stuff, but where is it happening? What's going on? I expected more out of these brands. What else? Who else is that there? Clark. Yeah. Any brands that like you're expecting more out of that you're not seeing right now? Anything off the top of your head? No? Doesn't sound like it.
I think you named the two of them.
Yeah, I think those two brands in particular. I think that there are so many brands that aren't getting the love. Let me tell you something. HVC is going to be the next thing. Espinosa should be all over these lists. I know he's in the back teens of this list, but Espinosa should be in the top 10 of these lists. Blackbird needs a lot more credit for what they're doing in the industry, man. And this is where the gatekeeping comes in. It's like if you don't have the $200,000 to put into Aficionado starting in 1994, you're out. Okay, that's just the way it is. Brands you need to try. Espinosa. You need to try, I think you need to try Tatuaje, just even though, Pete, you can, okay? For real. I think you need to try it to see what it's about, but it's not, bro, this stuff is so wet. It's crazy. It's a style, though, and I think you need to try that. Again, another brand falling the fuck asleep. But they're rich already. A lot of these guys were in the business for 20 years, and COVID made them very wealthy, and so you're not going to get a ton of activity out of some of these cats. I don't think they're built for the long run. Dunbarton and Trust, you need to try that. Oh, how is Nick Melillo not on this list? How is Cavalier not getting ranked on any of these lists? I don't know if these guys, I think I saw some of these things, they're in like the teens, and Nick Melillo's brand Foundation should be at the top of every list, okay? AJ Fernandez, the fact that he's not in the top 10 just shows you that he's just not cutting a check to those people. That's just a fact. He should be number 1, 2, or 3 on every single list. And it's not because he's our partner. It's because he's making the best tobacco vertically integrated from top to bottom. You can't show me anyone else in this industry. So that is doing it from seed to cigar, his mind in control of the whole thing from top to bottom, you got to smoke AJ. You got to know that that is what some of the best Nicaraguan tobacco tastes like. You should be smoking Blackbird for New World alternative to an EPC, right? EPC to me is like New World Dominican. They're not just using Dominican tobacco anymore. Who else?
AJ's 16.
AJ's number 16. What other brands are in there? You want to yell some other brands out there?
So we have Davidoff at 15. Roma Craft is also at 12 too.
So Roma Craft's on the list 3 times.
And this is half-wheel.
You go try that for yourself. You make the decision on that. I, again, can't see how they made it into a list with the construction issues that I've had, but that's just me personally. Every cigar is different when you cut it open.
Adventura Blue-Eyed Jack's Revenge Robustos at 14.
Aventura,
Yep.
fine brand from Dominican Republic.
Actually, AJ is at 13.
Okay.
With the 20th anniversary.
Give me some brands that I haven't mentioned.
Let's see here. Plasencia is at 11.
Plasencia.
Let's see here.
Any other brands?
Crux.
Crux. Haven't heard from them in ages. They make their stuff out of Plasencia. Try that.
They're at 17.
Or have not heard from them in ages. How about go to Cigar Journal. Cigar Journal is more for Europe. Go to Cigar Journal. They're releasing like their top 20 or top 10. I saw Christoph on that list. I think you should try Christoph. Why? They use a unique factory in the Dominican Republic and they buy tobaccos from various places. The factory that they used was also a cigarette factory. And I love their construction. Their construction is amazing. Epic is also made at that factory. You should try Epic. Dean's a great guy, and you should try him out. The commercial stuff, I'd stay away from. That's me. You know, the huge brands. How about Drew Estate? Drew Estate's not on any of these lists. I don't smoke Drew Estate. I never have. When I've smoked Unico stuff, shout out to Jonathan Drew. I love you, bro. You know, but again, acid is the thing that keeps that alive, and I don't smoke flavored cigars, and I don't smoke. In fact, I stopped carrying them on the website. Drew Estate. I don't even carry Drew Estate. You want to know what brands I do carry? Foundation. I carry AJ. I carry Plasencia. Those are like the staple brands that I carry that are well known, and then a lot of miscellaneous stuff like HVC. Sinistro, I haven't heard anything out of Sinistro. I don't
see them anymore.
Yeah.
What is Warfighter Night Shift?
Warfighter's like some brand. I think AJ makes it. I'm not sure though.
So on Cigar Journal, top 10.
Cigar Journal top 10. Let's go.
So Christoph Nicaragua Robusto.
Okay, great. I didn't know they're making cigars in Nicaragua. Let's go.
Number 9 is Joya de Nicaragua Cinco de Cinco Corona.
Joya de Nicaragua, a company that is completely vertically integrated, makes a fine product, but it can be very boring. I think if you're just looking for a fine cigar, you don't retrohale, that kind of thing, yes, pick them up. Try them.
Number 8 is Aladino Fuma.
Aladino, one of the most authentic brands coming out, well, I don't know what else is coming out of Honduras anymore, but they have a very unique tobacco, very Cuban traditional based, and very worthy of trying. And the brother makes CLE and Asylum and Hero, Christian. And you need to try those cigars. The father, Junto, does such a good job processing tobacco and growing tobacco. It is unbelievable. And these are cigars you need to try, for sure. Hero should be all over these lists.
Number 7 is Viva la Vida 5th Anniversary Gesture.
AJ makes it. Next.
Rojas Street Tacos.
Rojas. Here's someone who hasn't been, he's on Cigar Journal's list.
It's on Cigar Journals at number 6.
Wasn't on any of those other lists. I can't keep Rojas in stock. The shit comes in, it goes out the door. I love him. I've done so many special cigars with him. I have more. But I guess he's not paying these people. And that's where, you know, that's where I wanted to do this video, so that a person that's coming into cigars can go, oh, okay, I should try these other things too. Don't be fooled with these top 10 lists. They're bullshit. They are complete bullshit. Unless they are reviewing blind and they're not taking any money from advertisers, stop. Stop right there. Go out and search for yourself. I would definitely check out Cigar Public. I helped create Cigar Public to be a neutral space where everyone in cigar culture has a voice. You can go there and you can write articles and maybe even become part of the review staff. But you can check it there every day for your daily cigar culture news and sort of just kind of get acquainted with what's going on in cigar culture. A lot of new reviewers on YouTube, a lot of new blood coming out. Our channel's starting to pick up again. I feel like something's been lifted off of it. So we're gonna see how this video does. I want you to leave and put this in. I want you to tell me in a comment below what top 3 or 4 or 5 or even one of your favorite brands should have been all over everyone's top 10 list. Hashtag we are Privada, hashtag we are family, hashtag we are the industry. Peace.